Hi. In this chapter, we will understand what are the three areas of the Git. First area named it as working directory. Well, I am going to explain you this thing practically as well. I will do some files. So I will combine this topic and first repository topic together, and we will see how Git functions with respect to these areas. Well, there are three areas in the Git: working directory, staging area, and the repository. Working directory, staging area, and the repository. So the folder in which you create the files is called as working directory. The folder in which you create the files is called as working directory. Any file, Java file, JavaScript file, text file, that is the working directory. Now staging area is that area few files from the working directory are added, few or all files are getting tracked by the Git. Few or all the files in the working directory would be getting tracked. So which files are tracked and which files are untracked? The files which are available in the staging area are called as the tracked files. It might be possible that all the files in the working directory have been added for the tracking by means of Git. Tracking means what? Tracking the versions of the given files. Tracking the versions of the given files. That is nothing but what the tracking. And all the tracked files you will find in the staging area. Same thing I have written over here. All this the area is also called as index area. I have given explanation over here. You may read it. So whatever I am explaining with respect to this documentation only. Now, repository. So let me go over here. So I can say this is the working directory. This is the staging area. And now what is the repository? Working directory. I can say WD. Working directory WD. Then staging. Here you can say staging. And this thing is called as local repo. Now consider that this is the file. These are the files available in the working directory. But it might highly possible that only one file would be getting tracked and these two files are not getting tracked. So the files which are available in the staging area are that files which are tracked by the Git. Now what happens? Working directory to the staging area. Now from the staging area you submit those files to the local repository. Now local repository is available on your local computer. Local repository is available on your local computer. On your computer, one directory is there. Inside that, these local files would be getting stored. Remember that once you push the files or once you store the files to the local, one ID would be getting generated. And that thing is called as commit ID. Now the files which are available in a local repository that would be submitted to the remote repository. That is nothing but the GitHub. So you will create one repository over here the way I have created. Can you see? Just go here, or you can go to your repositories and just click on the new, and here you create one repository. Here you create what? A repository. And it is nothing but this repository, and this repository is available for all other members. This can be public or private. That is a feature of the GitHub only. Now the files which are available inside the local repository would be pushed to the remote repository. Remember that working directory. So submitting files from the working directory to the staging area, the action of submitting files from the working directory to the staging area is done by the command called as add. The files would be getting submitted from the staging area to the local area by means of one command called as commit. The files which would be submitted from the local repository to the remote repository is the push. The files would be getting added to the staging area by means of command add. The files would be getting added to the local repository by means of the command called as commit. The files would be getting added to the remote repository from the local repository by means of command push. Now new developer joins the team. And this developer wants to get this code on your machine. So the command is used to get the code on your machine is the pull command. Pull. So first it is a clone whole and soul data. Now again some developer have pushed the code to the repository, and you want to get only, if you want to get only required or only new changes, that is nothing but what the pull is. Remember that whenever first time you are going to get all the code, that is the clone operation. You will clone whole and soul repository on your local machine. And after that, if you want to get only changes on your local machine, there is a pull operation, or there is a pull operation, or there is a one more operation, that is nothing but what? There is a pull and fetch operation. There is a difference between git pull and fetch. Git pull. So both the things, git pull and fetch, does the same job of giving you, git pull and git fetch does the same job of giving you the latest changes. But pull can generate the conflicts, fetch cannot generate the conflict. That is the only difference. So clone is the first command. In the very beginning you need to clone. After that, if you want to have the latest changes, either you will pull or you will fetch. Pull generates the conflicts, fetch doesn't generate the conflicts. That is the difference between git pull and the fetch. Let me revise the process again. Working directory is that directory where you place your files. Now staging area is that area where the files would be getting tracked by means of git. Git solution will track your files. If you want to move the files from the staging area to the local area, the commit is the command. Git commit is the command. If you want to move files from the local repo to the remote repo, remember that local repo and the remote repo are the identical. So whenever you pull, all the changes would be done in the local repo, right? So remote repo will add the data to the local repo by means of the pull command, pull or fetch command. By means of pull or fetch command. If you want to move the data from the local repo to the remote repo, push is the command. And if you want to get the data from the remote repository on your machine in a fresh way, clone is the command. Pull, fetch will give you the latest changes. only latest changes. Pull will generate the conflicts, fetch will not generate the conflicts. So these are nothing but what? The different areas of the Git. We are going to see this thing practically as well. How things work. So we have covered these two topics, areas of the Git and working with the Git area. We will see practical by means of this first repository. How do you create the first repository and follow the process? Hope you have understood the session. If you have any queries, write it in the comment box or send me the message. Thank you.